Good morning, everybody. This is Alex with You Had Me at Craft, and this morning I have a little elf card for you. Paper doll dress up, of course. Put him all together. And this circle that I cut out of pattern paper, 4 inches. And I'll show you a little bit detail how I did this pattern paper. And then 2 scallops welded together on my gypsy to make a round card. Hadn't made a round card in a while, so putting down my paper as a guide and then doing these little dots. Let me tell you about these cards. I made 3 of them, okay, and they're for my kids. I have 3 kids that are grown, and part of their Christmas gift is money, so that they can go out and shop for something that they really need. 2 of them are married, 1 has kids, and the other one is married almost a year. So they do get gifts under the tree that Santa brings them. But since they're older, and there might be some needs that I don't know about, or that maybe they don't want to tell me, we give them what's called elf money. And we give them this money around Thanksgiving time. I'm gluing down my little circle with my ATG. Around Thanksgiving time. And the inside of the card will have a poem that my husband and I wrote. It's kind of funny. We thought we were pretty clever. And it's called Elf Money. So you'll see at the end. So guess what I got here? My wobble sample. Okay. I am so thrilled with these. I will be purchasing more of these. And there was about maybe 5, I think, in the pack. And I thought, perfect for this little elf card. Alright, if you kind of notice, there's a sticky back and front, and then there's a spring in the middle. It's a little big for my elf here, so I had to figure out how to use it and not have excess. Now, the sticky part, after you take away the paper, is clear, but still there's these words. Can you see the words? I apologize that my filming is not centered, so sometimes I go off frame. I apologize. So taking the paper away, and I figured out 2 ways how to trim this. I wanted to not have the wording show, so I'm just lining this up, figuring out, okay, if I bring it down a bit, and there, the head of the elf will conceal some writing, and his little shorts will conceal some other writing, but there's still some excess. And it's sticky, so you kind of have to get it out of the way or things will stick to your card. So using some really sharp scissors, there I go off frame there, but I come back, okay, and just carefully trim away the excess, okay, and you're doing it on both sides. There was a little tiny excess around his shorts, but it was so little that I didn't think it would really do anything, and I was afraid I might, cut my elf and ruin him after I, put his little face with peachy keen stamps and rosied up his cheeks and everything. I did a little detailing with a white Sakura gel pen on him as well, and he's cut at 3 inches. Okay, and all of his parts. Here's another way. Before I stuck it on, I just trimmed around it, still leaving enough glue that it would adhere to him and to my card. So those are just 2 ways to customize them a little bit. Okay, next thing I'm gonna do, here's my is it Versamark? I'm gonna do some embossing. Momo inspired me with her embossing, and I got a gun and some powder. This is Stardust, I think. Yeah, Stardust. And I got well, I already had the stamp, so this leaves a watermark. Okay, so I'm inking that up good, and I have my elf in place, so I know how much space I have to stamp my sentiment. Okay, and then he's not glued down yet, so that I can go ahead And take my little tray. You need this so you're not making a mess. Pour a little dust on there. I thought this was perfect. It kind of reminded me of like magic dust, and I thought Santa and his elves, of course they use magic dust, right? So it's pretty funny. My kids are like 26, 23, and 21, and I still refer to Santa and the elves. All right, so there's my gun, and you know, you just turn it on and heat up your sentiment, and then it kind of changes color. And so I didn't need to bore you with that. I edited that out. Now we're removing the backing of the wobbles, and that's what you're going to use to adhere it to your card. And he's kind of going to go off to the side there. Okay. And I just really like the way that paper, I didn't have to do any more cuts because the paper, there he is, off frame, but there he goes wobbling. He appears. The wobbles bring your image up off the paper quite a bit. So I thought that even though my pattern paper was pretty flat and had the images of the trees, snow, and snowing, that it would still give it quite a bit of dimension. So there's my bow, and I kind of edited this. You have to see how long it took me to finesse my bow there. And just take off your tails of your bow. And as I said, this little poem, and I'll show you pictures of it, goes in the middle, in a circle on the inside of the card. I notice when you emboss, your paper kind of bends a bit. So, but when it dries, it flattens out. All right, here's a paper that I used. It's a die cut with a view. Great papers, okay? And then this is the actual paper as it looked like in a sheet. And so I lined up my circle 4 inches and made sure it cut out some trees for me.